What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fortnite Battle Royale limited series here on BlackTideTV. In today's episode, I have 5 weapons you didn't know we needed in Fortnite Battle Royale. Epic Games has been legendary at introducing and vaulting a great number of weapons, consumables, map locations, and game modes throughout their time with Fortnite Battle Royale. And I should make a note that I have not been playing the game consistently from the day it was first released, and therefore I believe wholeheartedly this list is wholly original, apart from one weapon that I will be taking over from Save the World. However, I haven't yet played Save the World, and it's mostly an original idea in and of itself as well. So each of these 5 weapons, 99% sure they aren't or haven't been featured in the games thus far, but we'll have to see, and I'd love to hear your guys' ideas for weapons in the comment section down below. What weapons would you like to see in Fortnite? I don't care if you comment now or later. You might want to comment now and we'll compare our lists, or you can comment at the end and we'll see what everyone comes up with. But I have 5 weapons for you, 5 original ideas. I've got rarities, I've got basically how they'll perform in game, and we're going to jump right into this. First off, the gameplay. We're playing some solid gold. I am solo squatting. The first game here was just a troll. I landed in Anarchy Acres with a full squad, and they did not know where I was. I was just running around the rooftop, just absolutely driving them crazy. And the second clip that you'll see is not the same gameplay. In fact, Anarchy Acres led to me running across the map for 10 minutes before I was finally killed. The second set of gameplay is towards the end of a match where I actually came in second with another 5 or 6 kills, solo squads in solid gold once again. But without further ado, I'd like to tell you guys the inspiration for this video, the inspiration weapons. In fact, I was already working on this list when they had first announced the Deagle, the hand cannon. This is one of the weapons that I was specifically including on my list. I was totally prepared to tell you guys, we need a hand cannon, we need the Deagle. And it was that day or the day after they introduced the Deagle to the game. So that put my list in jeopardy, but not as much as the recently added hunting rifle. They were in talks to introduce a jetpack to Fortnite Battle Royale, which is still on its way. It's having some development hell right now, so the jetpack is on its way and we'll have a full video on that later this week. But they didn't release it, and they instead opted to include the hunting rifle, which does come from Save the World. But having not played Save the World, I was not sure how the hunting rifle performed, and that kind of gave me the creeps because it almost put my list in jeopardy once again. There is a weapon that you'll be seeing a little later on the list that basically functions very closely to the hunting rifle, so I had to make sure everything was hunky-dory before I continued with my 5 weapons. But that is your inspiration for this list. 2 weapons that should have been included, but because they were already added thanks to Epic Games' incredible development team, we don't have to cover those. So hand cannon and the hunting rifle are 2 great weapons and you should try them out in game right now. But the 5 weapons that I've come up with are wholly original. The first being the Doublebarrel shotgun. The Doublebarrel shotgun should be green or gray, probably one of each, an uncommon and a common edition, and it will have pump damage output with tactical fire rate. However, to balance this, it will have a slow reload, and being a double barrel shotgun, it intrinsically has 2 shots in the quote-unquote magazine in the barrel. So you can only fire 2 shots, then you need to reload. So the double barrel shotgun would be very powerful for 1v1 or 1v2 high skill gunfights. It's going to function very much like a double pump, but you don't have to double pump. So they did nerf double pump, they got rid of that from the game. This would be a sensible recap, because a lot of people did like the double pump kind of setting of the game. However, this would totally make sense. It wouldn't be a game-breaking bug, it wouldn't be something that you could say is a tactic. It's just a new weapon. I think it would work very well in being balanced between the tactical and the pump shotguns. Now, there was news today that there is a new automatic shotgun in Save the World. Don't know if that will be added at any point, but I would like to see the double barrel before a fully automatic AA-12 shotgun in Battle Royale. Next up, we have the Samurai Sword, and this one is coming over from Save the World. This is my not so original idea for the Samurai Sword. There are no melee weapons in Fortnite Battle Royale outside of the pickaxe, which only does 10 damage per swing. It's not its intended purpose, of course, but there should be a melee weapon that can compete with these close-range shotguns, SMGs, and pistols. Say you get an incredibly rare melee weapon like the gold Samurai Sword. We're talking legendary, highest rarity, because this thing is going to be powerful. Potentially purple, epic, but I'm thinking gold and exclusively gold for the Samurai Sword. I want the Samurai Sword to be a 50 damage melee minimum, possibly 75, possibly 80 damage for every swing, and it's going to have rapid swing speeds. Being a Samurai Sword, it'll probably swing 1.5 times faster than the pickaxe. The idea of a melee weapon in Fortnite Battle Royale is that it will drastically alter players' playstyles, especially if you are that lucky one to get your hands on the Samurai Sword. Being so rare as it is, other players will have to watch out for that, and it will be balanced in the close-range gunfight territory, because shotguns will still have a competitive advantage if they see you running towards them. This will give you an entirely new playstyle where you are stealthily moving around the map, sneaking up on players, maybe using launch pads to drop into unsuspecting squad bases to get in very, very close very quickly and to eliminate the enemy. Pistols, SMGs, shotguns, and the sword, they all have their own place in the close-range gunfights of Fortnite Battle Royale. So let me know what you think of a Samurai Sword in the comment section down below. But without further ado, the bow and arrow. I love the idea of the crossbow. I love the idea of it. I don't love it in practice and theory. The crossbow is kind of terrible. But I'd like to see more kind of stealth weapons like the crossbow. The crossbow is a great suppressed sniper rifle, but what if we had a suppressed hunting rifle? Of course, the hunting rifle is that new non-scoped sniper. I'd love to see a non-scoped crossbow or bow and arrow. The bow and arrow, likely referred to as a compound bow or recurve bow in game, would feature the same rarity levels as the crossbow, blue and purple. It would feature the same ammunition profile where there is no ammo, you have unlimited arrows, and it would also deal the same amount of damage. The crossbow is not capable of a one-hit kill, as far as I know. I believe a headshot is 75. I do like that idea. It makes the stealthy weapons a little more tactical in that you can't just one and done everyone without them knowing you are there. However, the one major difference between the bow and arrow and the crossbow, of course, is that the bow and arrow has no scope. It will be using bloom, a very tight bloom like the hunting rifle, but bloom nonetheless. I would also argue that being a bow and arrow, you can only fire one arrow at a time, but you would have an incredibly rapid reload between shots. We're talking a suppressed hunting rifle through and through. The next weapon I have for you is the light machine gun, not to be confused with the minigun. I'm talking a tactical light machine gun, something that you might see as an MG42 in your favorite Call of Duty game. I've considered making this weapon a heavy ammo weapon in Fortnite Battle Royale, but heavy ammo is so rare and there isn't as much of it, whereas this LMG will be using quite a bit of ammunition, being an LMG as it is. And so I think we can get away with medium ammo with a special ammo property that won't affect the ammunition itself. We'll get into that in just a moment, but the LMG itself will be slow firing, high damage, and fully automatic. It will be slightly more rare than your average assault rifle at a blue or purple rarity, similar to the scoped assault rifle. As for that unique ammunition property, armor piercing rounds. The LMG will still use medium ammunition, however medium ammunition fired from the LMG will become armor piercing. And now I'm split on my decision for armor piercing rounds, how they'll work. My first option is that they will fire through world materials and still damage enemies behind them. A sort of FMJ. They can fire through walls and deal damage to enemies on the other side while also destroying said wall. The other idea is that they will completely ignore enemy shields. This will completely cut out the material situation, and it will simply deplete enemy health instead of enemy shields when they are fired upon. Being an LMG, I find myself partial to the material destruction side of armor-piercing rounds, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Which type of armor-piercing rounds would you prefer, or do you have a better idea? And last but not least, we have the Designated Marksman Rifle, or DMR. That one will be gray or green. This is the weapon I was concerned when we had first been given news of the hunting rifle. However, as it turns out, luckily for my list, the hunting rifle is a single-fire bolt-action non-scoped sniper rifle. The Designated Marksman Rifle will be a semi-auto assault rifle. This will be more or less your scoped assault rifle without a scope. I'm looking for a semi-auto higher damage assault rifle that will use bloom rather than the scope. The scope is great. I love the scoped assault rifle. It's one of the more underrated weapons in Fortnite Battle Royale, I find. I think it's very competitive in its particular range. However, I would like to see a similar weapon with bloom rather than the scope. Bloom is great sometimes, the scope is great sometimes. I'd like to see options there. Clearly the bloom will be much more tight than your average assault rifle, more on par with the hunting rifle while aiming down sights. The spread will also be much more contained so that you can continuously fire at a rapid speed in medium range gunfights. I think the semi-automatic assault rifle, or designated marksman rifle, whatever you'd like to call it, would be more common than its scoped counterpart. The scoped assault rifle currently rings in at blue and purple, and the scope does give it a tactical advantage in certain fashion, so I'd like to see a green or gray semi-automatic assault rifle or designated marksman rifle, whichever you prefer, to really give people the chance to use it, to get into that semi-automatic vibe, make it kind of competitive with the fully auto and the burst, just as another option for assault rifle users in Fortnite. But let me know what you think of my list of 5 weapons that you didn't know we needed in Fortnite Battle Royale. Do you have any other ideas of your own? Leave them in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.